Hey guys, it's me, Steve WB, right there, and welcome back to my channel. Now, if you don't know who I am a full-time content creator. I make product videos for Amazon, but I also like to dabble here on YouTube as well. Now, most of my videos are on action cameras and smaller electronics. If you like to see those things reviewed with a real perspective, then you are in the right place. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about this little camera right here. Now this little camera can be found on Amazon, and I will leave a link in the description down below, and it only cost 30 bucks. That's right. This is one of those little knockoff camcorders that only cost $30. And I got the idea to buy this from Jason Morris. He is a much larger YouTuber. He specializes with Sony, and he's actually a professional, like a director of photography and a videographer and a photographer as well. If you get a chance, check out his channel. I'll put his link down there as well. So I was watching one of his videos, and he bought a little camera like this. He was recommending that you buy it because it can give you like a vintage feel. Me, I am vintage, so I'm all about vintage. So I wanted to give it a try. So what I decided to do was I bought this little $30 camera, and I took it and made a family vlog for my family channel, the Influencer Family, just to see what I could get out of this little camera. That is why I was kind of saying in the intro that it's so bad that it's good. The reason for that is that when you use this camera, it almost looks like 8mm film, even though it's a 1080p camera. We're going to get into some of the specs of this camera in just a moment, but first I want to show you and talk about how this camera made me cry. Now I love my family, and that probably had something to do with it. Like I said, I took this to SeaWorld. We went to go ride their new roller coaster called Pipeline. I just was filming and vlogging the day with the intention of turning it into like an 8mm reel. You know, throwing back on my vintage from when I was a kid, that's what we had, was 8mm film. So I just kind of wanted to like put my kids on that platform, I guess you could say, or that type of media, as like a throwback to my childhood, and in order to test this little camera to see what kind of results you could get out of this. Whenever I made the video and I put it together, the only touch-ups I did to the video was I did add a damaged film overlay from DaVinci Resolve. It comes with the program, and it came out so good that it just really hit me, like right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that clip with you, and then we're going to come back and talk about some of the specs and details of this little camera. Let's cut to it. Lizzie, turn and say hello. Let me see. You won. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Prize winner. So, what'd you think? I have to give myself a moment after watching that video to recover, and I realize that it's more sentimental for me, of course, because it's my family, but you can see the look that you get from this little camera and how easy it is to manipulate it to look like a vintage or an old film. It's just amazing and just like mind-blowing. And for 30 bucks, this is going to be a nice little addition to any camera bag just to capture that feel and to capture that type of footage. Now on the quick specs and why the camera, as explained by Jason, does so well is it shoots at 1080p, but at 1080p it's only 15 frames a second. So when played back on a 24 or 30 frame a second timeline, you're going to get that skipped frame effect, which adds to that vintage feel. Now you can drop it down to 720p and get 30 frames a second, but that would kind of defeat the purpose. Now the little camcorder did well. Make sure you format your memory card before you put it in, because halfway through my vlog day, it did like lock up and went into a loop mode. I thought the camera was broken. I brought it home, I pulled my files, I reformatted the card, and it all started working again. So it can be buggy, there can be issues, but it did only cost 30 bucks. You can see it's got the little, it's a 9.8 millimeter lens, which I think it's much wider than that, and it says it's a 5 aperture. Don't put any trust into that. It does have a digital zoom built in. You do have a little display screen right there. I'll turn it on for you real quick. As you can see, not a very wide view. For what I'm using it for and for what I bought it for, this thing is invaluable to me. I just absolutely love the result I got from it, and it's well worth the 30 bucks. I want to encourage you to get one of these little cameras and just try it out for yourself. I felt like a total goofball running around SeaWorld, like I had the dad cam, you know, back in the 90s, and I'm zooming and I'm recording and all that stuff, but it was actually fun. Just because of the shaky footage and the no stabilization, it just all adds to that retro look and that retro feel, and it was just fun. That's all I can say. I just had a really good time, and I would really like for you to experience that as well. I'm Steve WB, and I'm out.